Hey guys, it's Derek Gates, and I'm back with season 2 of the Unleashed podcast. Can you believe it? We are back and we are mad together with other leaders across this nation, standing arm in arm. We are going to take this nation back. Thanks for tuning in to Unleashed. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Here we are. We are back. Neil, we are back and we are in action. New studio, a new look, a new place, a new time with the same old crap in politics. We're trying to make a difference. I'm here with my friend Johnnie Morgan. Say hi to everybody, Johnnie.
Hi, how are you doing?
And I know Johnnie. Johnnie is his exact title is immediate past president of the California Republican Assembly, and so I got to know Johnnie through the CRA is what we call it here in California for all you Midwesterners that watch, and got to know him really well and become friends with him over the last few years here. And he is here. We're going to talk a little politics and a little just whatever comes up. And you're running for a position that we vote on this weekend. What
That is
position
correct.
is it?
I'm running for the California Republican Party, Los Angeles County Region Vice Chairman.
That possibly could be the longest title I've ever heard in politics. And what does that position do?
Well, what the position is set to do is to bring California Republicans and the Republican Party together. Unfortunately, many Republicans in Los Angeles County, in particular, doesn't even know the California Republican Party exists. As one of my top priorities as the vice chairman for the Los Angeles County region is to bring these two entities together so that we can work together to bring good government back to Los Angeles County.
Now, is there a rumor? I heard you're a fan of Newsom. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody's a fan of Newsom. I don't know if even Democrats are a fan of Newsom, really. But we're going to do something here, Johnnie. We're going to do this. We're going to pick a card, any card. This is podcast stuff right here. This is podcast stuff. So it's called a pod deck. You're going to pick a card. Pick any card on there. All right. Let me see this. Now, what is the question? The question is, what's left on your bucket list?
What is left on my bucket list? On my bucket list is to see that California becomes red again.
Do you think it's possible?
I know it's possible.
What has to change?
Well, first of all, Republicans in California need to know that the California Republican Party exists. You know, it's been too many times where there's been elections and no Republicans have been on the ballot.
Right.
And so for, average Republicans, I mean, Republicans who don't go to conventions, who aren't activists, I'm talking about Joe Sixpack and Susie Homemaker.
Sure.
They're Republicans. They're strong Republicans and they want to vote Republican.
Right.
But when they open up their ballot and there's nothing on it but Democrats, what do they do?
Right.
Okay, the first thing they do is they think about it. They say, well, I guess there's no Republicans in California besides us. Then they got to make a decision. Who do I vote for or do I vote at all? And if they're like me, they hold their nose and vote for the Democrat that they think is going to cause the least amount of damage.
Right. Right. Let me ask. So I'm on the 66 Central Committee, and we were discussing Monday night the fact that I thought this was interesting. All the South Bay cities, when it comes to issues, they vote Republican, but then when it comes to the candidate, they vote Democrat, and it's very odd that people they look at the issue, they read the issue, and they're like, oh, hell no, I'm not voting for that. Or, they'll vote conservative.
Yes.
Because most people, they're conservative in nature. They want to protect their kids. They want to have a good job. They want to have a good retirement. They want protection, strong, strong security, whether that's at the border or down the street at the store. They don't want it getting robbed in front of them.
Mhm.
Most people are conservative. But when it comes to the candidate, they seem to shy away even if there is a Republican on the ticket. What do you think causes that? Do you think it's just a cancel culture type of thing? People are shamed for not voting Republican or into not voting Republican, I should say?
Yeah, well, I think it's probably more just misinformation, and that's where the California Republican Party needs to do a better job. Uh, we need to have Republicans who are active, who are in the party, talking to neighbors and not just sending out mail and not just making phone calls 2 weeks before the election, so that they know, that the issues that they are concerned about are the same issues that these candidates are running on,
Right.
and that they need to support them.
Right. Yeah, I think that's good. It's very interesting because if you were to believe the media, you're a unicorn, as in a black Republican, a
Mhm.
black conservative. If you were to believe what the news says, you don't exist. But what I thought was interesting I moved to California in 2020. I had been coming since about 16 because of media and entertainment and stuff like that. Finally made the move in 2020, and when I got involved in politics in 2020 here, um, I thought it was interesting that most of the things I went to were actually a majority minorities. Hispanic, Black, Asian, a lot of Asian people involved in conservative politics.
Mhm.
But if you were to watch the news will tell you that the Republican Party is basically the old white man, straight white man, and that's it. And racist, by the way.
Oh, yes.
What's your feedback on the media's kind of their what their motivation is and how they do that, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the media is biased. There's no question about that, and they're biased on a number of fronts, not just on the political front, but it's a lot of the news that calls itself news anyway is more editorialized than actual news. And so it's unfortunate that they lean to the left, and anything that relates to the left is what they're going to highlight. And anything that appears to be supportive of the right or correct from the right will not be featured.
So true. What do you think is California's number one issue right now?
I think California's number one issue right now is border security. Uh, we just can't continue to allow people to come from wherever they're coming from to just come into the state, without any type of vetting.
You're right.
It opens the door to all types of problems.
Yeah, I've been watching these videos in South Texas, Donna, Texas, is where they have that big border. Um, uh, I don't know what you call compound that all the people are staying at, and they're coming through the border. We used to live there. That's where we used to live. We lived just probably a quarter of a mile from where that compound is. And I think what's interesting now is you're seeing not just not just Hispanic or Latinos coming through the border. You're seeing droves and droves of Asians, of Africans, wherever they're from. Even I guess they're Russian or Ukraine. I don't know where they're from. They're white. Wherever they're coming from,
Right.
they're coming into South America and then they're coming up and crossing the southern border. So we have no idea who's coming through, what they're up to, what their agenda is. And years ago, I had read an article, probably 2005, so it's been a long time ago now. It was called The Silent Invasion,
Mhm.
and it talked about how China has already invaded the United States. And basically, they did that by bringing people in through the borders, and they have these cell groups. And at whatever time China goes, okay, now's the time. They're already here. And I didn't put a lot of thought into it. But now as you see these people coming through, and it may not be China, who knows who it is, if at all, but I can see now how it could be a real possibility that, there's terror cells that are already here, and we just got a government that just really could care less, it seems like, you know? So in your opinion, how do you stop that flow of traffic? Is it the wall? Is it something else? Is it, what do we need to do to stop that flow?
Well, first of all, it needs to be a priority, and then once it becomes a priority, what is necessary to put into place can be done so. But if you have the leadership that's taking um, a don't care attitude, so everybody else is being lax too, and all of these cities and states that call themselves woke, if you will, or sanctuary states,
Right.
uh, they're having a fit now.
Right.
Okay, but they're the ones who said, "Hey, come on over. We'll
Yeah.
take care of you."
Yeah. I think you and I think we were talking about it on Monday night, and I saw you Monday evening, and, it may have been somebody else I was saying this to, but, like, the mayor of New York is pitching a fit now. "We gotta stop this invasion, we gotta." This is one of the guys that's like, you know, "Open it all up, let them all come over," and now that they're all being bused to his city, he's like, Wait a second, we can't do this, we can't take care of all these people." Well, you didn't care about it when they're all going to a city in Texas or all going to a city in Florida.
Mhm.
Now it's in your backyard, now you're pitching a fit about it, and I think one of the things that with border security people have really been talking about, a hot topic is like the fentanyl crisis, the drug crisis, and now people are moving actually from what's that drug? It's not fentanyl anymore. Fentanyl's still big, but there's another drug now, and it eats your skin. It literally, like, it eats your body down to the bone. Like, people are walking around with their bones showing. They look like zombies,
Wow.
and, it's mixed with fentanyl. But I can't remember what they call it, but that stuff's coming through the so it just keeps getting worse. It's like, we all thought fentanyl was bad enough, a pin drop could kill you, and now you're mixing it with the stuff that literally eats your flesh. Is absolutely insane, and we're just okay with this. It's bizarre. So, what do we call what xylazine? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. This is what it's called, xylazine, an animal sedative that's harmful to human health, is showing up in street drugs across the United States and appears to be spreading. The drug called xylazine causes severe skin wounds and knocks users out for hours at a time, leaving them vulnerable and exposed. It is absolutely crazy. I've been watching videos on this. They'll hold their arm up and you can see through their arm to the other side. And here's what's happening is their veins are collapsing from shooting this stuff up. So now they're having to shoot up into the wound. They're like it's so bad. And we're just okay with leaving, let's just let the cartels do it. And it is a war. It is a war that we are losing bad. And let's talk about California. One of the big things is homelessness. You know, and I don't know that necessarily your position would have anything to do with that, but um, it sure would. As a voice for the Republican Party,
Mhm.
especially in Los Angeles, where this is a big deal. What's your takeaway on the homeless problem here in LA?
Well, again, it needs to be focused on the people who are supposedly putting together these groups and task force and raising all of this money to build more housing, uh, just to house people,
Right,
is not the answer.
right,
And a lot of the money that's supposedly going to assist in this effort are going into developers' pockets.
and that's the truth. How much was it, Neil? How much was it that we saw that the salaries just in LA County, the salaries for people that were paid to supposedly take care of the homeless problem. I mean, it was up around $1 billion, and the problem gets worse.
Mhm.
They're not taking care of anything. And then Neil and I, we broke the story. I don't know if you knew this or not. We broke the story on the camper fiasco. You know where they bought the RVs? Did you
Mm,
hear about this?
mm.
They spent how much was it? They spent on the RVs.
I think it was upwards of $100 million. It was,
Yeah, it was insane.
yeah.
Don't quote us on the exact number, but it was a lot. And what they did was they took all the campers and they parked them in the Dodger Stadium parking lot, and that's where they stayed. And so, and for like 2 years, that's where they were. They're just sitting there, and you're talking about the nicest kind of like
Uh, this says San Francisco has spent close to $500,000
five on what?
on the recreational vehicles meant to house the
Oh yeah,
homeless.
yeah, yeah. That was San Francisco though. The
So we're
LA had
in
spent way more.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy amount. But, so we did a video. We went to the park above the stadium and used telephoto lenses to shoot a video of all the campers down in the parking lot being stored,
Mhm.
and then it went viral online,
Wow.
and, that was one of my campaign videos.
Is it?
Yeah. What did it say? 1.3 million. Yeah, so and that was just one of the many things that they just threw it away. 1.3 million on camper. I could use that. I mean, if they're just gonna throw it away, or give me one of the campers. Would you like a brand new RV? I would love one. So, yeah, it's real bizarre what they're doing. It just needs to be, it seems like it's first of all, it's a mental health issue, I think, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and you can't help people that don't want to help themselves, so it seems like it's something we need to get them into the hospital and have them evaluated and get them detoxed and all that kind of stuff. That's the way I feel about it.
Mhm.
So let's talk about the party, the state party. This is a hot topic subject, right? You were explain to the listeners the difference between the state party, the Republican GOP, California GOP,
Mhm.
and the Republican Assembly,
Okay.
because most people they don't have a clue what that is.
Right, right. Well, the California Republican Assembly is the largest and oldest independent Republican organization in California. Established in 1935, and currently we have a little over 3,000 members statewide, and 60 chapters, and five in the process of being. Uh, Ronald Reagan called us the conservative wing of the Republican Party, and so uh, most conservatives who are involved with the California Republican Assembly understand that government, has to be more focused on the citizens and on the laws. We definitely believe in constitutional amendments, especially the second, that gives us the right to bear arms. And every time or anytime something happens in this country that involves a firearm, you know, there's a big cry about banning firearms,
Right.
and it's just ridiculous. People have to be able to protect themselves, and we are going to stand up for that in particular. Now, the California Republican Party is the official Republican organization for the state of California, and they are supposed to be focused on those issues that are important to Republicans as well. Uh, and sometimes the moderate Republicans clash with the conservative Republicans. And so they don't see issues the same way. They don't think that the issues that the CRA is supporting as being the key issues that should be highlighted in California.
Right. Now, does the state party have paid positions?
The state party is supposed to be an entirely volunteer organization, except for the executive director. It's always been that way as long as I've been involved, and I've been involved over 40 years.
Right.
Um, the only person that would be paid is staff that handle the day to day business, and the executive director.
What about the CRA? Is there anybody in the CRA paid?
No,
No.
nobody's paid in the
All
CRA.
volunteer. So what's the so just do you know what the salary is of the chair of the state party?
No, I don't. Nor do I know how or when it became a paid position.
Neil, you want to look that up? I think it's 225,000 a year, isn't it? I think that's what it is.
That sounds about right.
Jessica Patterson's, I think. Now I've met Jessica several times, and she's actually very nice. She came up and talked to me after I had this viral video that of me telling the state party off. If I would have known today what I know now, I probably wouldn't have done that video. I was lacking a little information when I did it. I didn't realize. So I don't know if you know this, but whoever the LAGOP endorses, it's basically in the bylaws of the state party. They endorse by default. So when they wouldn't call me back, and I was trying to get their endorsement when I was running for Congress. And the reason they weren't calling me back, which they still could have called me back and been like, just explain it to me. Nah, somebody's already been endorsed by the LAGOP, so that's who we have to endorse. But she stood in line to come and talk to me and apologize to me afterwards, and you know, whether I agree or don't agree with her policies, at least I felt at least she did that. So, did you find it negative? Well, I know it's a lot of money. It's more than I make, which that doesn't take much. So let's say you win on Saturday, and which is maybe a good chance because there's a lot because it's basically the people that were in that room at the LAGOP meeting are the ones that's going to be voting for you or voting in general. It's those are the delegates mainly. Probably less, substantially less actually. Um, and it seemed to me that a lot of those people are conservative. Um, and I noticed that when I got up and spoke, I was actually surprised how many people were in favor of what I was saying, which was pretty conservative for California. So I think you actually have a really good shot at winning this based on your conservative values. So if that happens, what is going to be what is going to how are you going to roll out your new position? What is going to be your first priority? Um, what are you going to do day one?
Well, basically, I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing all along as the president of CRA, and that is contacting and communicating with Republican organizations, both independent and statewide, to let them know that we have to work together, that timing is of the essence, and that the CRA and the California Republican Party are here to assist and support you and give you direction if you agree with our agenda, and which
Right.
I believe most of them will.
Yeah, I think so too.
And so I'm going to continue that effort. And so when everybody is on the same page and we're moving in the right direction unilaterally, then we'll be successful.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I think the statement I made, what did I? Oh, you weren't there. I think Justin was there though. I said, you know, I said I'm here to build bridges, but I can't continue to build bridges when you keep just burning them down. And it seems like that's what happens a lot is you get people that come in and try to build a bridge, you know, to bring people back together, and it never fails. There's a contingent of people that it's like they're just assigned to burn the thing to the ground. And but we've got to get some unity in the party, or we will continue to fail and the state is going to be gone. And if the state's gone, it's going to happen in every state across the nation. You know, there's a saying in the church world. They say, whatever happens in California will happen in the nation. And they say that because California sets cultural standards. So music, entertainment, media, everything is set out of California. And now it's become politics too.
Mhm.
So as politics has turned more and more blue, it's it's you can't run away from it. So all these people that are moving, there's no use in moving. It's going to follow you. You better stay and fight.
That's right.
You better stay and fight. And so we really have to make this thing work now, or we're not going to have a country left. Um, I believe, I honestly believe, if we don't take the nation back by like 28, we're done. And I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm wrong. But do you think that there is any hope?
Well, yeah, and we have to bring the station back. We have to bring the country back. And you talk about what happens in California, happens in the nation. Well, Los Angeles County is the heart of California.
Yeah,
Do you know that there's some states that are not as large as Los Angeles County?
that's right. That's right. And I think Los Angeles County has the fourth largest economy in the world, just in Los Angeles County, I believe is what it is. Is that right, Neil? A quick Google pie. I think that's it. I think it's the fourth largest, and that's another reason why it sets the standard for the nation and for the world.
That's right.
Is people want a piece of that money, and that's why people sell out really easily too, is they want their piece. So instead of standing up, a lot of times, people will just kind of go with the flow because they want to score what they can score, where they can score it, you know. But that doesn't last. The problem is it doesn't have legs, so to speak. It doesn't last. The
Mhm.
timeline of that happening is very slim. What do you got, Neil? 19th largest. How am I that far off? Is that LA County? So it must be California is probably the fourth largest in the world, the state. Just tell me I'm right and let's move on. Who needs facts? We live in California. So what are you passionate about right now? Like, what do you want to talk about? What's some things that you're passionate about outside of this particular position that you want to talk about that you feel like it's not getting the headlines that you need?
Well, we talk about homelessness, and first of all, there are laws on the books already against vagrancy. Okay, now they want to change the name, of homelessness to, unhoused and all that sort of thing. But if you're laying on the
Right.
street,
You're a hobo.
yeah,
I I can laugh at it because I was homeless at one point, so I
uh,
think that gives me the authority.
okay. But if you're laying on the street, if you're sleeping on the street, uh, you, you are an individual who is creating all sorts of hazards for yourself, health wise, hazards for the citizens. There's health hazards. There's all sorts of accidents. Can occur, and people say, "Well, oh, just leave them alone." They're not bothering anybody.
Oh, they're bothering a lot of people. If they're saying that, they're not watching.
Yeah, yeah. And so the problem is, I don't think it's rocket science. Okay, first of all, you go in where these people are, these camps and so forth, and you evaluate them. You do an intake.
Right.
Okay, there's only 3 reasons why a person would be living on the street,
What are they?
and we have the means to address all 3 of them.
What are those three
Okay,
reasons?
well, first is mental health.
Mental health,
Okay, the second is addiction.
addiction.
Okay, and the third is, hey, sometimes people just get down on their luck.
I would add a fourth. You're running from something. You're hiding from something. But yeah, I think the first three. I think those are the three main things. And my wife and I we've worked with homeless people for 20 years, And the fact is the fact. Addiction. The two main things are mental health, number one, addiction, number two. And if you're on the streets for any amount of time, from either number three or from number one, it won't be long until you are number two, which is addiction, because being on the streets will lead you to that place. And it's got to be dealt with. And people that think they're not hurting anybody. I remember going to uh, Venice Beach. I could not believe, and I love Venice Beach. We used to love to go there. 2020, of course, it was COVID and it was real weird and things got way out of control. But still, even other places today, even Hollywood, like Hollywood. I mean, it's the number. I think the number one visited tourist destination in the United States is Hollywood Boulevard. What a crap hole. This place is just filthy. People laying with their needles just out on the street, and the thing is if you're a business owner, if you own a business there, do you how much business are you losing? Because I don't want to walk over some homeless guy with his peed his pants and has his syringe laying out there with blood all over the place. No, I'm moving on down the street to something else, or in Venice Beach, Santa Monica, a big deal during 21, 22 was the homeless people taking over the parks where like playgrounds, and they'd have syringes in the sand where the kids are coming down the slide. I'm just like, and people don't think this is a problem. Here's what you do. Okay, you know what, guys? Bring your kids here to play. You and your high price mansion, wherever you're at, Newsom or whoever, bring your kids and let them play in the sand. Let's see what your kids think when they get stuck with a needle, you know? So what else? What after homelessness?
Well, I mean, just to finish up on the homelessness, I mean, we have the resources to take care of all three of those issues. Okay, and the money that you just identified as being spent on recreational vehicles that aren't being used
Right.
could be used to one, develop and staff mental health facilities. Okay, uh, addiction facilities, recovery facilities. And as I said, if a person, they lost their job, they moved, the job moved to another state or whatever, they got evicted, for whatever reason, uh, we got resources to help these individuals too to get back into the mainstream.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, is a lot of these people, they need somebody to take the time to figure it out, help them figure it out.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of people out there that might still have value. I mean, everybody has value, but if they just have some people that keep them accountable, I think we can get a lot done.
Hmm.
So Saturday morning is the vote,
Yes.
and who's all running in this race? How many candidates are there?
Um, to my knowledge, because somebody can always be nominated from the floor. But at this point, there are only three announced candidates,
Okay.
myself, and there is the current LA GOP chairman, Tim O'Reilly, and the president of the LA Hispanic Republican Club, who is David Hernandez.
Right. Now, what do you think sets you apart from these two guys?
Well, what sets me apart is my experience, first of all, my background, the length of time and the activities that I have been involved in this period of time. See, I've been an active, visible Republican in Los Angeles County, California, for over 40 years.
Right.
So, I've done what needs to be done, and I've been very successful up to this point. And I am offering myself uh, for this position to continue that success because I love California. I love Los Angeles County. I was born in Los Angeles County. I grew up in Los Angeles County. All my schooling was done in Los Angeles County. And I've been involved in Republican politics in a visible way. I know you said we're unicorns. And
Right.
so I was one of those unicorns, and
I saw you running down the street.
exactly. So I think that's really what separates me from um, the other candidates. Um,
And you're friends with the other two guys.
oh yeah,
You're
yeah,
friendly with them.
I know them, and when Tim O'Reilly was first elected, I reached out to him and we got together and we've been talking. David Hernandez, I've known him for years, and I've always supported him and his activities and the work that he is doing.
Yeah.
So there's no animosity.
Sure. Right. Right. Because at the end of the day, it's one of the things about I've had to learn about politics now is that at the end of the day, uh, no matter who wins, the work goes on the next day.
Yes.
There's still stuff that has to get done. And so here's what I want you to do, Johnny. So I want you to turn to that camera over there, and I want you to give a 60-second pitch of why people should vote for you on Saturday. And that's what we're going to put out there for people to see. And this is your 60 seconds of fame. Hopefully, you have more fame than this because this would be not that great for you if
Okay.
this is all you get.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Um, I would like to encourage the delegates to vote for me on Saturday, based on my record, based on what I have achieved, based on my successes, and to realize that I have the energy, I have the drive, I have the commitment to achieve what we need to make Los Angeles County and the Republicans within connect. So it is to the benefit of all of us that we achieve this. And on day one, after I'm elected, I will continue this process because I've already started it. I started it when I was president of the CRA. I visited and met with uh, Republican organizations, Assembly District organizations, women federated organizations, and let them know that there is an effort that is being put forth that they can participate in to bring Los Angeles County and California back to good government.
That's good. That's quite the pitch.
Yes.
That's quite the pitch. All right. Well, we're gonna see you. I'll see you Friday, I'm sure,
Uh-huh.
and we'll be there Saturday morning. Now, you still officially have a position with the CRA as the immediate vice president or the immediate past president. Let me get that right. So that's still a
Yes,
board position, correct?
that is correct.
And are you going to and that expires at the end of next year, or is that how that works? Or
Well, the way that works is that my vice president, my former vice president, called Bricky, who was now elected president, and I'm very happy and supportive of that. Uh, until he moves on, um, I will be immediate past president.
oh, okay, yeah, that's right, huh? So if he does 2 terms or whatever he wants to do, so what's the customary thing? 2 terms and you're done? Is that but that's not a bylaw though, right?
No, that's not a bylaw. It just depends
You
on.
you could have went the distance. You probably would have been elected again, right? If you would have done it.
I feel confident that would have occurred. But again, Carl Bricky and I work as a team,
Yeah.
and so
I love it, that guy.
I have
He's great.
very high confidence in him to continue what we started.
Yeah.
The
That's
growth
good.
of the CRA and recruiting more members.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. He's I was actually on the phone with him last night. So he's a good guy. Love the guy, and he's done a great job, and he's a wealth of knowledge, and understanding of the political process, and
Yes.
uh, so for full disclosure, so my wife and I are both on the CRA board too, and so we're a little partial to the CRA now because we're invested and we think that they're doing great things and we want to see it continue to grow and to do more. And so if you're listening to this and you're in California, if you are, which a lot of you do listen to this from California, and you want to get involved, the CRA is a great option. A matter of fact, it's kind of the only option in some places, because most of the central committees, most of them are closed. A lot of the county parties are closed meetings. I mean, I guess you do have like the women's federated meetings for women, but I, on the large part, most things are closed meetings to just the boards, and you really can't get involved unless you jump in a campaign or something. But the CRA gives people an option to be involved on a regular basis, to stay informed, to listen to candidates, to get plugged in and do something for your community and for the state. And there's how many charters?
We have 60 chapters now, and 5 are in the process of being chartered.
Right. So there's probably a charter near you, and if there's not, we can get you chartered. And that's part of the process.
That's right.
Is if you're in a place where there's not a charter, then maybe you're the person that starts it. And so that's my pitch for the CRA, and I think people need to be involved in it.
Would you like to give them the website?
Why don't you give them the website?
Okay. If you'd like to know more about the CRA or join and become a member, the membership is only $25 a year. You do it online, and you go to www.cragop.org. Click on the little button that says join, and then you'll be right with us.
Yeah, and scroll all the way down to our chapter, my chapter. Join that one, no matter where you're at. I'm just kidding. Yeah, just scroll down, and there'll be a chapter near you, most likely. And if there's not, we'll help you get started. And we love to see it grow. And you know what? The meetings are fun. Like, we do enjoy the monthly meetings, but like, I really enjoy being involved in the yearly meetings. Or I guess we do them twice a year, right?
Conventions.
Yeah, the conventions.
Mhm.
That I enjoy that. I enjoy that, and people get passionate. And sometimes you have this. There's some passionate people, and it gets a little wild sometimes. But I actually like that, because it's not boring. I can tell you that politics it's not boring, and when we have what we have at stake, I expect people to get passionate about it, honestly. And if you're not passionate, then you may not care enough. So that's it. Anything else you want to say before we close up?
All Republicans are welcome to join the CRA or the California Republican Assembly. If there is not a chapter near you, you can join as an at-large member, but you are welcome to visit any of the chapters uh, and participate with them. If you go on our website, you'll see all of the events that we have, all of the board meetings, all of the conventions, and the action items that you can participate in just by pushing a few buttons on your computer.
That's good. That's good. All right, Neil, we ready? I have no idea what button I'm pushing.
Always ready.
Always ready. You're being voluntold. I think it might be this button, but I don't think it is actually. Which button is it?
The green one?
That one's not it. Not it.
Not that one.
Not it. Not it.
Is it
Not
the
it.
purple one?
Not it. There we go.
It's the purple one, everybody.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Unleashed, number 1 of season 2. This is actually season 4, to be honest, but we're branding it season 2. And this was episode 1 with Johnnie Morgan, the immediate past president of the CRA. And
Quite the title.
Quite the title, but not close to the title that he's running for. That is a long title. So, guys, peace out and shalom, everybody. Get your friends tonight.